Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mademoiselle Lina, and you can find me online at www.conjureknits.com. Today, we are here to do the Cancer TarotScope for August 2021, and we are going to be using the Fairies Oracle by Brian Froud. Before we get started, I would like to say thank you for viewing my video, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and click on the little bell so that you'll receive notifications of when I go live or upload new videos. I do try to stay pretty busy here on my channel. I do all 12 zodiac signs for the monthly tarot scopes. On Sundays, we have Conjure Crew with myself, Mambo Tanya, and the Black Bonnet Witch. On Mondays, I upload the weekly forecast. Every day, I do a card of the day reveal. On Wednesdays, we have the virtual book club. We are currently reading the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. It has been so much fun following Richard and Kaylin on their adventures, so you are definitely going to want to join us for that. I also pop on from time to time and do free readings, so make sure you get my notifications by clicking that little bell. All right, I feel that I have rambled on long enough. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Card number 1. What is the challenge for this month? And we have Gotcha. Gotcha is the out-of-the-blue fairy. He likes to surprise us. You know you're walking along, minding your own business or not minding any business at all, and the universe smacks you on your blind side with something that makes an awful splat. Unexpected demands from the tax man. The bank's hole-in-the-wall machine eats your bank card late at night, while the burly and irritable taxi driver is waiting. Your children find a way to dye themselves green just before your in-laws arrive. A meteor hits your car. Gotcha is, of course, capable of happy surprises, as well as shocking or miserable ones. Perhaps your lottery ticket wins. There is a school of thought that says this is just karma. We deserve it for sins we have totally forgotten in other lifetimes. Not so. Karma is about lessons we need to learn, not about punishment, and meaningless events don't teach us much. So this may be karma, but it isn't that kind of karma. There is another school of thought that says all of these things are our choices. We chose to be there when this is happening. We choose to step in front of the invisible cosmic bus. There is some truth to this, on one level of being high in the superconscious. As Gotcha says, I know more than I see. But most of us don't function at that exalted intuitive level of consciousness much of the time. However, many of us do get hints, little flashes of intuition, and sometimes even big flashes of intuition. We often say, I knew I shouldn't have gone that way, or trusted that person, or invested in that stock. There are two things Gotcha is trying to teach us. He says he doesn't enjoy doing it, but do I believe him? Actually, I do, mostly. First, we need to learn to listen to and trust our intuition. We need to be awake and aware. It is just part of what we need to learn in order to fulfill our potential to have happy and satisfying lives. Without it, we are sleepwalking in the world, missing all of the wonders and joys, while not missing many of the bumps and pitfalls. Second, when there are lessons we need to learn, or when there are experiences that are properly other people's, but that have impact on us, we need to learn to roll with the punches, to take what comes at us, learn what we can from it, and regain our balance as quickly as possible. Things happen. We can't always control them, and we can't always get out of their way. We don't always even have a choice about them. For example, to live with a beloved animal friend probably means that you are going to lose that creature at some point, because most pets have shorter lifetimes than humans do. Other things happen as well. People occasionally win huge sums in lotteries, but this too, we need to be able to take in our stride and not be completely lost in it. Gotcha knows we like to build sturdy, rigid structures in our minds and lives, but he also knows that these often are not good for us. Sometimes we even complain about them, muttering about life being dull and boring. Yet we cling to them tenaciously. Such inner and outer rigidities usually encourage stagnation, and the unity insists on growth. So, to help us along, Gotcha kindly delivers these sudden surprises. Yet how often do we remember to say thank you? It's hard, Gotcha says, doing such a difficult job. It's enough to drive a fairy to drink. From the look of that bloodshot eye, he has already been into some of the more potent otherworld nectar. Gotcha in a reading speaks to us of sudden, often violent, breakdowns of existing structures, habits, patterns, and/or attitudes. When we become too tightly confined by our own self-imposed limitations, including the desire for comfort and security, Gotcha kindly breaks the structure restraining us, whether we think we want him to or not. On a soul level, we know this to be necessary, but in our everyday thoughts we usually get pretty upset about it. However, breakdown can lead to breakthrough. This is liberation, and we often haven't a clue what to do with it. This is usually the beginning of a period of confusion, even disorientation, while we search for a way forward, although we may think we are simply searching for a way back to what we had before. Recommendation: do not try to pick up the pieces and put them back like they were. Consider, instead, what you would like to build in that part of your life, and this time remember to leave room for growth. Card number 2. What positive energies can I embrace this month? And we have the RAR. Once upon a time, there were 3 pink boys, more or less, and a RAR who all played in Brian's son Toby's bedroom. They liked the midnight tea parties, the magical ambience, and of course, they liked Toby. Unfortunately, the pink boys got too rowdy, and Brian had to throw them out into the garden, which was where they belonged anyway. The RAR learned from the experience in a roarish way, and it quieted down a bit during the midnight hours. RARs are not naughty or wicked, just energetic. They are also not very discriminating. They like to join into whatever excitement is going on and add energy to it. In a way, they are pure potential, and they potentize whatever is happening. RARs are attracted to mobs rioting and to meditation groups rising toward ecstasy and to any other strong energy states. RARs are a bit like Tigger in the Pooh stories. They bounce, they zoom, they go off on wild tangents. Brian hasn't painted a wild tangent yet, as far as I know, but I know what they look like, having encountered more than my fair share. Think of the roar of a growling dog, the roar of an engine revving up, the roar of a purring cat, and the RRR in ARG. As I say, RARs don't discriminate. It is up to us to do that. They put a live spark into whatever is happening. It is our choice what we do with it. A RAR in your cards encourages you to be especially attentive to what you are doing with your energy and intentions. Don't get carried away by the RAR's bouncy enthusiasm, but do take advantage of the energy. You can accomplish a great deal with the energy being made available to you. This is a good time. Note that the RAR is not grounded and is not meant to be, but humans need to keep their feet firmly on the earth. When you encounter the RAR, breathe slowly. Center, earth yourself. Be clear about your objectives and then go for them. Card number 3. What negative energies do I need to negotiate this month? And we have the Singer of Healing. The song of this singer has the power of healing deep wounds of the spirit. Wounds that can destroy mortals or immortals alike. Faith betrayed, love dishonored, trust abandoned, and other injuries of the spirit all inflict serious wounds, which are reflected in the body's illnesses and injuries. Through the song of healing, we may be restored and renewed, but only if the wounded one is prepared to forgive and let go, returning to love and compassion. As always with all gifts of spirit, healing is offered, not forced, and requires active participation on our part. True healing must take place on all levels at once: body, mind, and spirit. These levels are inextricably linked, all one piece, and we cannot expect to change one without changing the others. Our bodies do not do things all on their own. The links between different aspects of being are many, complex, and often obscure. And yet, the principle of healing them is simplicity itself. We need only to let go of the things that are hurting us and nurture ourselves with the things that benefit us. So simple, so difficult. The song of healing is present everywhere, and like the other aspects of the great song of ecstasis, it is without limit. Healing can seem so complex as we dig our way through all our blocks and resistances and old stuff, but in the end, it is simply letting go and opening up. Learn everything you can from others. There is a lot of good information out there. Just keep the essential simplicity of the process in mind, and you won't go far wrong. This is the healer's card, and its presence in a reading may speak of healing to be given or of healing to be received. The circumstances and processes of reaching well-being may seem easy, or they may bring great challenges. In either case, we are asked to participate in our own healing as we are strengthened by this singer. More usually, this singer speaks of both giving and receiving, because we cannot truly and freely give without receiving as well. Healing is something that flows through us, not from us, and as such, we are inevitably affected by its passage. This card tells us of both a need and opportunity for healing ourselves and perhaps others as well. Healing is not something you do, it's something you are. Card number 4. What do I need to make time for this month? And we have He of the Fiery Sword. When the song comes into any of the manifest worlds, this world or fairy or another, it first encounters two principles, sometimes called yin and yang, or masculine and feminine, or great god and great goddess. He of the Fiery Sword is the primary manifestation of the yang principle: action, will, movement, force, fire. We see him in many ways, each one an aspect of his total being. All of the great gods and protectors are aspects of this power. The fiery sword is the archetype of all magical and mundane swords, and written upon the blade are the words, "Draw me not without cause, nor return me without honor." His fiery sword illuminates truth and dispels not truth. We can call upon the master of the fiery sword when we have difficult things to do, when we need to take action that is going to require much of us, both in will and in compassion. He will do what needs to be done with love. When looking at this card, my neighbor saw it not as a sword, but as a feather of light. He saw it as a symbol of the ability to fly, to rise above things. Someone else saw it as someone reaching up, ascending, surrounded by multiple reflections, and filled with light and power. The presence of the fiery sword's master in a reading can indicate that there is a need for, clear and focused will and a determination to carry through on decisions, even if much effort is required. Or he can tell us that such will and strength is present in regard to the issues under consideration. We need to consider how he is expressing his will and strength, and how that expression may be enhanced or improved. It is this singer's energy that enables us to burst the bonds of an outgrown way of being and move on to the next level. He indicates that this is a time to take action based on clear spiritual will. His presence indicates great strength and great potential for good. It also reminds us that, if we call upon him, we will receive assistance. Card number 5. What opportunity should I seize this month? And we have Laced, Moon's daughter. She is the bringer of light in the darkness, yet moonlight both reveals and conceals. Her bright fairy hoof prints light the path ahead of you, guiding you through the dark. She is also one of the guides at the passages between the other world and this one. It is she who, with her bright light, tends the gate of revelation, showing us the way through by illumination, while her sister, Epona's wild daughter, helps guide us through the gate of despair. Lace's gate is much more fun. Yet, in the process of guiding us, Laced may pull a veil of cloud across the face of her mother, the moon, and 3 steps later we fall into a bog. That should wake you up, she thinks, smiling wisely. She disapproves of sleepwalking, which is something that most of us humans do a great deal of the time. The night contains too much magic and beauty and wisdom to walk through it unseeing. You may find her activities helpful, you may find them frustrating. How you take them is entirely up to you, but they are intended to help you awaken. Bear in mind that she does not trip us, she merely places an obstacle or a pitfall in our path, and we, sleepwalking and unaware, step right into it. We don't have to do that. As always, it is our choice. Laced wants us to be open to the great unknown, to mystical, not necessarily magical, experiences that teach us an expanded way to relate to the multiverse, all of the worlds and dimensions together. She is the daughter of the moon, but she is also an illumine child of unity, where the Lascana, the frog queen, wishes you to get in touch with your subconscious and find the treasures there. Laced hopes you will reach for your higher self, your not yet realized cosmic wisdom. You know far more than you know. There are places in ourselves that we may have feared because they are shadowed and unknown. We may imagine them full of monsters when, in fact, they are inhabited by joyful spirits. She wishes us to explore this terra incognita because that is where much of our potential and as yet unexplored wisdom lies. Laced reaches into our deepest minds, opening long-shut doors, illuminating and revealing the uncultivated ground of our being, our hidden senses and talents. She speaks to us in the language of symbols, as fairies often do, because words are so limited. Any one symbol may speak to us on many levels of consciousness, and about many different aspects of being, if we spend time contemplating it. Laced is a sphinx, and finding the answers to her profound riddles gives us keys to the multiverse. If you are attending to your dreams and visions and studying everyday occurrences, trying to discover the deeper levels of meaning in the symbols there, you are learning the language of Laced. That language is spoken by artists like Brian and poets whose works are informed by rich symbolism. Discovering it through study, through looking within ourselves, and through interaction with fairies not only teaches us the language of fairy, of art, and of high poetry, but it also gives us keys to our own psychic abilities and to the deep levels of our own psyches, where the singers and the creative force of unity are most easily found. Through revelation and the ecstatic experience of the mystic, Laced faces and leads us into the future. She prefers to let the old stuff of the past fade away in the illumination of insight and newly accessed wisdom. You may be finding apparently random events and ideas are falling into a pattern and beginning to make sense to you. Things may be flowing more easily than you are accustomed to, and your decisions and choices may be bringing an unusually high degree of success. Psychic abilities, hunches, intuitions, foreknowing are becoming clearer and making more sense. Trust the process. Laced also brings psychic dreams, forelighting the future and illumining the present. These dreams often speak in symbols, as fairies are wont to do. All right, my lovelies. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here. Card number 1. What is the challenge for this month? And we have gotcha. It has been one thing after another going to crap for you. So much so, you may have even thought at some point that someone has been throwing at you or put a curse on you. This is simply not true. The problem is, you have become too comfortable with where you are in life or a situation. Gotcha is trying to warn you that things are getting stale. It's time to stop and meditate on why these things keep happening to you. Is there a lesson that you are supposed to be learning? Has your life become too humdrum? Next, we have card number 2. What positive energies can I embrace this month? And we have the RAR. Don't just sit around and let life pass you by. That's not who you are. You are a doer. Get to doing. The spirits are giving you an extra energy and motivation boost this month. Put it to use for the good. Card number 3. What negative energies do I need to negotiate this month? And we get the Singer of Healing. With this card in the negative spot this month, I really feel that the fairies are telling us that we have become somewhat deficient in healing ourselves. We have to stop and allow ourselves to heal. This may very well be the reason that Gotcha keeps throwing up so many surprises and obstacles. Remember, he did say not to try to put the pieces of the past back together again. We have to allow ourselves to heal and use the energy of the Rar to keep moving forward. Card number 4. What do I need to make time for this month? And we get Heat of the Fiery Sword. Heat of the Fiery Sword gives strength and boosts all of the surrounding cards. He reiterates that you need to break free from whatever it is that is holding you back and move forward with strength and pride. He is also known as the Sword of Truth and really brings to mind the book series that we are currently reading in our virtual book club here on YouTube every Wednesday. Card number 5. What opportunity should I seize this month? And we get Laced Moon's Daughter. Hello. Is anyone home? Laced is telling us to wake up. Wake up and embrace the beautiful light around you. Pay attention to the small details. She is giving you symbols and signs to help guide you along your path. Some of these symbols may come while you are asleep, so be sure to keep your dream journal close by so you can jot them down. Also, your psychic abilities are awakening and getting stronger. She is saying that you can't drive forward if you are constantly looking in the rear-view mirror. Overall, this looks like a month of awakenings and breakthroughs. It will be challenging, but I know you can do it. I have faith in you. Stay strong, pay attention, and keep moving forward. The fairies are with you to help lead you and guide you along your way to your best life. I hope that this reading has helped you and will help lead you and guide you throughout the month of August. If you do feel that it has helped you and that it will help someone else, please feel free to share this video. Sharing is caring. And if you would like a more in-depth and personal reading, you can go to my website at www.conjureknits.com and click on the link at the top of the page that says, Book a Reading. I hope you all have a very beautiful and amazing month. Love you bunches. Bye-bye.